America today has much to be proud of, in no small part thanks to Dr. King and my friend John Lewis, and countless others who wrote, spoke out, stood up, marched, bled, languished in jail, sat in and endured what Dr. King called creative suffering. The historic election of President Obama testifies to the progress we've made, which would not have been possible if not for the millions who sacrificed and raised their voices for change. But we are here, all of us, here to declare that we shall not rest, nor shall we be satisfied by the way things now stand. Too many people of our people still inhabit islands of poverty and inequality. Too many despair at fewer opportunities to find good jobs that pay well and provide their families with a chance to reach the middle class. Too many have no voice in our democracy because they are told they have no valid ID with which to vote, or that they have to choose between going to work or to the polls today. We will not rest. That is our pledge today. It was our pledge in 1963, and a half century later, we renew that pledge. Let us march on. God bless you.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, the first female Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, Minority Leader, and I sure would like to call her Madam Speaker again. I don't know about y'all.
¿Cómo has sido? ¿Cómo has sido en House?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. As a member of the leadership of the Congress of the United States, it is my official privilege to welcome so many of you to Washington, D.C., to the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. I join my colleagues to associate myself with the remarks of those from Congress who have spoken before me. That's official. Personally, it is my very personal pleasure to be here with each and every one of you because I was here 50 years ago.
Wow.
To be the Speaker of the House, the President of the United States, or whatever. You're a beautiful sight to behold. Right. And at that time, 50 years ago, we heard Dr. King inspire us with the I Have a Dream part of his speech. The part that, though, was the call to action was the fierce urgency of now part of his speech. In that time, Dr. King says, we refuse to take the tranquility drug of gradualism. We must move forward. And forward we will. If it was fierce then, urgent, it certainly is now.
Yes, today.
50 years ago, there were only 5 African-American members of the House of Representatives. There was no Congressional Black Caucus. Today, there are 43 members. We want more, but there are 43 African-American members. And they were led by Congresswoman Martha Fudge, who you've heard from, and they are the conscience of the Congress. And in that Black Caucus, we have the privilege of serving with John Lewis, some of us for over 25 years in the Congress, and aren't we proud of that? I also want to mention that 50 years ago, though he was not a member of Congress at the time, that John Conyers is one of 3 people invited to the White House to meet with President John F. Kennedy to call for the Civil Rights March, the March for Jobs, Justice, and Freedom, who is with us. 50 years ago, we had the first Catholic president in the White House. Today, we have the first African-American president and the first African-American first family leading our country so beautifully from the White House. You know, we come together here at a time when there is a monument to Reverend Martin Luther King on the Mall. Here he sits with presidents of the United States so appropriately. We have a day set aside as a national holiday to celebrate his birthday. But he would want us to celebrate him, his birth, and his legacy by acting upon his agenda, by realizing the dream, by making the minimum wage a living wage, by having not just family and medical leave, but paid sick leave for our workers, by having quality, affordable child care so that our families can be, the power of women can be unleashed in our economy and in our society. And you know what? This just happens to be Women's Equality Weekend. When women succeed, America succeeds. When people of color succeed, America succeeds. He would also want us to be fighting for voting rights. Certainly we must pass a bill in the Congress to correct what the Supreme Court did. But we must also be sure that every person who is eligible to vote can vote and that their vote would be counted. When I was here 50 years ago, people said, oh, and that includes voting rights for the District of Columbia. When I was here 50 years ago, people said, what do you remember most? And the music is playing, so I'll say this. Dr. King said this 50 years ago. The music of the march, the harmony of the civil rights movement, the notes of Dr. King's inspirational words must continue to inspire us to compose, as Dr. King said on that August afternoon, a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. Are you ready to beat the drum for that beautiful symphony of brotherhood? Are you ready?